All right, things are working in the background for us. Hit the recording. Okay, let's see who's with us. All righty. Shana, can you hear me now? And Dion Banks has joined us. Let's see how we have Dion. Dion is connecting. And we are live, everybody, just FYI. Try to get, Shana, can you hear us? Okay, we're waiting on Dion. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Let's see if we can get Dion here and Shana here.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. No video, but I can hear you.
Okay, one sec.
All right, and we are live, everybody. We are live. Okay, and thank you, everybody, for your patience. Shana, how you doing? Okay. All right, while we wait on Mr. Dion Banks, we are going to get started. And preferably his audio, we'll get his audio. But good morning, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining the Dr. Larry White Senior Show. Can't believe it's been, what, since December 5th, since we launched the show, and we've had some amazing guests on here. Stacey Ladisaw, R&B sensation, and now minister. We've had Mark Clark from WHUR 96.3, so shout out to Mark. Married to Allison Seymour from Fox 5. And, you know, just some amazing guests. So I do have to make a few announcements before we get started with our current guests today. Some of our members are having some technical difficulties, but you know, it's just been really great. I have a great show lined up for you today, and I'd just like to talk to you about a few upcoming events. So February 28th, we have Cocktails and Conversations with myself, concierge, Dr. White, Mary Mitchell. You're going to hear from her shortly, but that will be at Cafe Mezzanotte at Severna Park, February 28th. 6 to 8 p.m. And that's complimentary hors d'oeuvres, free parking, great networking, mixer, complimentary hors d'oeuvres, free parking, and just come on out with your business cards with a like-minded, ready to network. And I promise you, you'll meet some great people in the building. And that's February 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Cafe Mezzanotte here in the DMV at Severna Park. So just come on out, everybody. We look forward to seeing you. And you can register at VIP Events. That's VIP Events with an S, concierge.com/upcoming events. Also, by popular demand, we will be back in Atlanta April 3rd and April 4th, bringing Mary Mitchell with me again. She's got an amazing initiative going on that we'll hear about shortly. But let's see if we can bring on one of our guests here. Stand by. All righty. Let's see, can we bring her on? Okay, all righty. We were trying to bring on one of our guests, Shana, out of, let's see if we got Dion here, Mr. Dion Banks. We've got audio from Mr. Banks. And, okay, let's see if that's working. All right, Mr. Banks, we can hear you, cannot see you.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I don't know what's going on with my PC right now.
Okay, so we're going to put you in the waiting room, sir, while we're live here. Thank you so much for trying. Okay, sorry about that. As we were trying to get Dion in on the broadcast. So again, Atlanta, April 3rd through the 4th. And we got a 2-day event. We have a Black Tie Networking event the 3rd, and that's going to be at Maggiano's in Cumberland Mall. 6 to 8 p.m. Come on out, black tie, get dressed up and come on out and network. And then the 4th, we have our Deposit Your Dreams into Success Part 2 in Atlanta. I'm so looking forward to it. That's going to be 10 a.m. to 12. And I'm breaking that up with Mary because Mary's going to do autism workshop from 12 to 1. I'm going to be doing a Deposit Your Dreams into Success, which includes Sherry DeVoe, Denard, also Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Dr. William D. Scott, and also followed up by myself that's hosting Looking forward to just seeing everybody there. I missed somebody. Let me make sure I missed someone on there. That is, let's see. I missed Shana. Shana, who's supposed to be on this show right now. Shana is flying in from Tampa. She's a broker in real estate, and also she's a person that does art. So she does like art, wine, and design. So, all right, enough about all that. Go to the website, vipeventsconcierge.com, and you can register for all the events for myself. One thing I wanted to shout out is to the DMV Mastermind Group. A person that's driving and listening right now is the Honorable Tajala Battle Lockhart. Thank you for all the amazing work you've done for the DMV Mastermind, all your graphics. You've taken us to another level. So shout out to the Honorable Tajala Battle Lockhart and all of our members who are doing an amazing job. We thank you so much. Without further ado, I would like to introduce my two guests we have today. We have Mary Mitchell, who's broadcasting live out of Richmond, and we also have Shay Sisco, who is listening and broadcasting live from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. White. I'm well, and how are you?
I'm doing well. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Shay, let's start off with you. Take about 30 seconds to a minute to introduce yourself to the world. We are broadcasting all over the United States right now. We haven't, to my knowledge, haven't reached anybody internationally, but I know that will change. So for those who may not know who you are, Shay, take about 30 seconds to a minute to introduce yourself to the world.
Sure thing. Thank you, Dr. White. My name is Shay Sisco, as you previously mentioned, also known as Shay Speaks, the co-founder and creator of the WOW Inspired movement. WOW is an acronym that stands for Wisdom Optimizes Winning. What I have learned is that we live in a competitive society where everyone wants to win, and we are intentional about understanding that God has called us all to do great and mighty things. So what we do is we educate, serve, and support aspiring leaders as well as career professionals to re-energize, revive, ignite their passion to walk into their purpose. And we do this through strategic planning, coaching, speaking engagements, and writing projects. So I'm super excited to be on this morning. And our tagline for WOW Inspired is inspiring the influencer in you. We realize that we are inspired to inspire someone else.
Shay, thank you so much. That is very well put. And before we go up to Mary, it looks like we have Dion. Dion, I see you. Can you hear us, Dion?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick 30 seconds. Let's see if we can get Shana on here. Let me see if we got her. All righty. We see the video. Let's see if in the name of Jesus, let this work, Jesus. We're not going to let Satan stop us today. In the name of Jesus, we've got Shana here. There we go. Shana, I see your video. How we doing? And I can hear it.
Good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Listen, let me tell you something. When you pray it forward, it happens for you, everybody. So listen, I am in almost through the introduction, so be patient with me. We got a lot to cover. We probably will go just beyond 10:30. If you need to drop off, I understand. Let's have a nice conversation. I have great questions for you. Let's not be long-winded. We got a lot of people listening. I'm going to ask you the questions, and then you give it right back, and let's keep it moving. All right, Shay, thank you so much for a great introduction. We're going to come back to you. Mary Mitchell out of Richmond, Virginia. Good morning. Tell us in about 30 seconds to a minute who you are for those who may not know who you are, Mary Mitchell.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Mary E.S. Mitchell, and I'm a retired lady, so I don't know why I'm on the show. No, actually, I'm one of the people who have multiple streams because I was told that was what you needed to do. So I listened well, and I followed up, and giving great honor to God for allowing me to have Chrysalis Studio, which is a media company, and it's a platform for myself and others to let other people know who you come in contact with networking. I am an advocate for the arts and entertainment industry, and that takes me to the Atlanta project that I will be able to share the space to do an autism awareness program. That's one of the things that affects many communities, especially our community, and I want to bring it forth in that format. And I'm so grateful to be a part of the DMV Mastermind Group, just powerful, powerful people doing powerful, powerful things.
Well, look, Mary, I want to thank you so much. You've been traveling with me. We've been to Virginia Beach. We've been to Raleigh. We've been to Atlanta. Now we're going back to Atlanta. You're going to hear from your sister. Shauna, I've been calling you Shana and Shana for months, so I'm going to say Shauna. That's correct today, right? Shauna?
That's the correct way to pronounce it.
Because you didn't correct me all this week when I said Shana, so thank you so much. Listen, I want to just tie this in, and we're going to go over to Dion and get everybody in. Shay, I want to just say thank you so much for purchasing my book, Keeping Us Number One. You know, the reason why my book is number one in the country is because Dion introduced me to you, and that's the power of networking. And now I got you in my circle. And I want to say this, I was having a really rough day last week. Satan tried to attack me. I don't really give him much credit because some stuff is the principalities, if you know the human condition versus the Holy Spirit. But I was having a rough day, just like Dion and Shauna was having a little rough with technology. And I didn't want Satan to try to mess that up because they have some powerful messages for us today. But I want to thank you, Shay, and I want to thank you, Dion, because I was having such a rough day. I do a lot, and a lot of people depend on me, but nobody really calls me to see if I'm really okay sometime. And sometimes I have a moment. So Shay, I want to thank you for your prayer last week. I had a great day, and I've been having a great day ever since we had our prayer. So thank you, sister. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, sir.
Absolutely. So we're going to go down here to Shauna. Shauna, I'll put you on the spot as you do your 30-second, 1-minute introduction. I need a date from you today for Tampa because Dr. Talisha Johnson wants to know. So I need to know what date I could fly into Tampa by close of business. And Mary, you can roll with me. We would not be driving to Tampa. We'll have to fly. But without further ado, I'd like to bring on another other than Shana Jones by way of Chicago, but she's broadcasting live from Tampa. Take it away, Shana.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm very honored to be involved with Dr. Larry White. He has been reaching out to me via Facebook, so that's good with social media that we get to meet people from around the country and network and share what we do. Right now, I am in actually Sarasota, Florida, which is a little bit south of Tampa. I'm a mortgage banker with the Federal Savings Bank, and I have been in the real estate industry for 25 plus years. So as our other sister was talking about multiple streams of income, I've always been one to help our folks get multiple streams of income, first by gaining wealth through home ownership, which is first and foremost, and to pay rent to yourself and gain financial freedom through that platform, but also to take a look at investing in other properties and doing some other investment, gaining investment opportunities through real estate. So I've had, 150 pieces of property. I owned a mortgage company in Chicago for about 15 years before the market dropped in 2008. And when the market dropped, because of multiple streams of income, I was able to at least maintain some form and dignity of lifestyle. But my true passion is helping other people gain home ownership and get into the real estate game. So, well, there's a call that came through. That's what I'm passionate about doing. I am a nationwide lender. I do work with realtors in the DC area, Florida, Chicago, Atlanta, wherever somebody needs home ownership. I'm there to support them and help them through the process. So that's kind of my spiel. Lending is an art, and that is my tagline, because I really feel that the whole concept of putting the deal together becomes a masterpiece when the client closes. And that's what I'm doing. I'm also working with art galleries to help promote their sales of their art and through home ownership.
Well, Shauna, thank you so much. We got a lot to get in, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all give me y'all 30-second elevator pitch. So we got to go around. Let's go over to the man of the hour, because most of the time I have a lot of great women on the show, much like you ladies. And so if I'm blessed to have a brother, a man of God on the show, I'm so honored. So I get a little excited and pumped up. But let's just go and go over to Mr. Dion Banks. Take us away, Mr. Dion Banks. Who you are, what you're doing, what you're up to today, these days, business-wise, community. Take about 30 seconds to a minute to credential yourself, sir.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dion Banks. By day, I work for a company called Rex Nord, where I'm a commercial operational analyst. And by night, I put on my cape and I become the co-founder of the Eastern Shore Network for Change, which is a nonprofit that's actually working to bridge the gaps in our community as it relates to education, representation, and revitalization. And we also have a consulting company called the Richardson Tubman Group, where we consult to help people with business planning, goal planning, building their credit, also creating pathways to home ownership and things like that.
Well, Dion, thank you so much. We're going to stick with you, and we're going to just go right to you with the first question, Dion. Go to Mary, Shay, and then back to Shana. And then we're going to go back around again, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. So take us on a journey, Mr. Dion Banks. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I know quite a bit, but take me back when you were in high school, military, college. What inspired you to be a business owner, for-profit, nonprofit, a community leader, a community activist? Take us from like school, your journey. I know it's a loaded question, and try to do the best you can, but I'm so inspired. I call you a modern day Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, because the things that you do in your movement. But just take us about a little bit on a journey on how you became this great humanitarian, this great community leader, great community activist, entrepreneur, and another part of it, how do you find to do it all when you say put on the cape? Dion Banks.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you pose the question this way, because I don't think I've ever had it posed to me this way. So I'll say what was given to me as a child was the knowing who I am and whose I am, which means understanding my roots of where I came from, and also knowing that you are a child of God. So growing up in an African-American church, which was founded in 1847, where both of my families went there, my history was kind of instilled in me at an early age. So at the same time, growing up in Cambridge, Maryland, in Dorchester County, which is the most depressed county in Maryland, I knew I couldn't be successful here as it related to my hopes and dreams of doing whatever else that I wanted to do in the world. So I ended up joining the military at the age of 17, was integrating the Gold program, ended up going to school over in Europe, came back, graduated in Kentucky. And in my mind, I was either going to move back to Europe because I love living over there because of cultural diversity, which you feel there in a positive way versus living here in the US. I think anyone in the military can relate to that. But I ended up moving back here and lived in Chicago for several years, had a great experience and opportunity learning business with global companies. And my dad got sick in 2002, so I ended up relocating back to Cambridge, Maryland. So this is where it all comes together. So the same town that I fought to get away from, God purposefully brought me back here. So from 2002 to probably about 2010, while helping my mom take care of my dad, I actually felt something pulling me here to find my purpose, but I was fighting it. So I ended up helping Keisha Petty-Colas, who's the co-founder of the Eastern Shore Network for Change, run Mayor Victoria Jackson Stanley's second campaign for mayor. She's the first African-American and first female mayor in a town of over 350 years. So in helping with her, going around the town, really trying to understand what our constituents wanted, it was clear to me that there was an underlying issue with racism. No one wanted to talk about it. We could talk about the history of Cambridge later. But what we did was, a week after we won the election, I actually called a town hall meeting. You have to approach sensitive topics like this in a scientific way. So, the hypothesis, is it really a racial issue? So to do that, we actually pulled together about 350 people in the community and asked that question. Lo and behold, that was the answer. It really was racism. So from there, we actually did 5 years of research, meeting with Gloria Richardson, authors of books, people all over our country to talk about the long hot summer of 1967, the impact to Cambridge, and also the impact to our nation. And what we did there was launched a really big event, 4-day event of doing 10 different things over those 4 days to really commemorate the African-American history in Cambridge, Maryland. So with all of that, what we're doing now is focusing on 3 things: education, representation, and revitalization, to reclaim our narrative, make sure that Gloria Richardson is celebrated, and make sure that people understand that Cambridge is open for business, and we are going to rebuild the African-American community. So, I can go on and on, so I'm gonna take a break here.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, listen, before we go over to Mary, and this is great, we're just getting warmed up. We got a lot of people watching the show right now. I cannot name them all, but I do this every week on the show. Just wave it to everybody. Say, hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hi.
All right. Hello to Kizzy out of Richmond. She chimes in every day. The Honorable every week, I should say. Sylvia Kuntz, some of my loyal listeners and followers. Jackie Mims is in the building. Most of the people that are watching the show, because of Dion, Shay, Shana, and Mary, is a carryover from the Black History program. So I really appreciate all of you all. Mary, let's go up to you, my top left, probably in the rest of the world, the top right. But my top left, I want to go over to Mary Mitchell. What inspired you to start your own business in the media? And I got to thank you all. If you've never been to Congressional Black Caucus, Mary is the person to see. She got me to the prayer breakfast. She got me to the Phoenix dinner. For the first time in my life, I got to the Phoenix dinner, Congressional Black Caucus. Thank you, Mary. Tell us what inspired you to start your own business, and what's been some challenges along the way starting your business, and how did you overcome those?
Okay. Well, I just like to say that having a media company opens up a lot of doors, and such as being able to be a part of making a documentary. So a lot of things that I've been involved with, I just walk up to people and I say, you know, I really appreciate what your organization is all about. I have a platform. Please allow me to tape some of your venture, some of the things that are going on, and fold it into a documentary. So that's one of the great things about having a media company. You can find the platform, you can find the format. Some people like things in writing, some people like things to be taped, shows, radio programs and things like that. And I can say that you can walk into any given room and find someone with an interesting story to tell. And that's what I'm all about, is storytelling. And so Chrysalis Studios is a media company, and I started out focusing on the African diaspora, and really doing some documentaries, some plays, some things like that that brought the African American community in front of the media in a different format. So heavy on arts and entertainment. Did a little piece in Atlanta, and my market is really New York, the DMV, Atlanta, and Richmond. So in that particular business, I've had a wonderful opportunity. But I would just like to say that, you know, in talking about storytelling, each one of us has the story about why we ventured into becoming entrepreneurs. And I think that it's very, very basic. And I think you learn that in any kind of business program, is that you sense that there's a need or there's a problem that you need to solve. And that beyond anything else has carried me into various businesses. I appreciate my sister that was talking about real estate, because I do have a company that's involved in real estate investment. When I was doing that, I found that there were a lot of people who had problems with their credit, so I did some credit repair. I was doing the media, and I was really making documentaries. And then I found out, oh, well, there are certain people that are in the arts and entertainment industry that don't have a format, that don't have a platform. So I extended that. So it really is looking into your community and defining a need. I heard my brother Dion talk about racism and everything, and I'm really going back to my hometown, Charlottesville, Virginia, working on a documentary that has to deal with some of the racial issues that were highlighted with our present administration, you know. So there's always a story to be told. There's always a need, and there are always people with lots of energy to address those.
Mary, thank you so much. We're going to come back. We will go a little bit over 10:30 today, but don't worry about it. We have the pro package for Zoom, and everything will go out on YouTube, and y'all keep sharing the broadcast. And I love you guys. And Shana, thank you so much for your patience. We're coming right to you. Shay, you seem to be like the only millennial here in the building. All right. I'm representing, yeah, I'm gonna make y'all laugh today. I'm not gonna make y'all cry. Normally we laugh, cry on the show, but just laughter today. I represent Generation Z. Okay, I'll talk to y'all about that in my marketing class. But you're an amazing. I'm telling you, it's breaking it down. Generation X below me, 73% of that that generation is online, and those are our target folks. But we'll get into that some other time. But Shay Lewis Sisco, tell us how you got started in business. I mean, I see you doing so much, and Dion was like, you know, Dion's eyes get big like this. Hey, you got to meet Shay, and I was like, all right, come on. I meet a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you. You know how it goes. You meet them, and they're like, oh, I don't know. Shay, you are on fire, just like Dion says. So I'm gonna get my eyes big like Dion's. Shay is amazing. Shay, take us away. how did you get started in everything that you're doing? And since and let's just keep it short because I got to go around. Tell us how you got started as an entrepreneur, for-profit, nonprofit, because I got a lot of great questions for all of you all.
So just to keep it kind of short and sweet, I am, as you say, a millennial. This is very new for me. However, just being in a space and understanding, coming up in a family where I didn't have the support in terms of being affirmed that you are smart enough or you're good enough to stand out and stand alone, or so they say stand alone, because I'm a firm believer you can stand out, but you're never alone when you have a relationship with Abba, our Father. So just understanding that I was actually in a place where I always had something to say, and sometimes what I said kind of got lost in the mix of what others were saying. And it was just like there was a lot of messaging going out, and I had to get to a place where I was okay with two people hearing me. And as long as the two people that heard me, what I said, as long as it resonated with them and was able to change the lives of one of the two, then I knew that I was actually moving in the direction that God has called me to as it relates to my purpose. So that's actually what got me to the place where it's like, oh, I'm going to do this for the community. 2.5 years ago, I actually ran for county council, not having a clue as to what I was doing, just knowing that, you know, there is a desperate need in my community, and a need where our community needed to be heard, but not also needing to be heard, but actually having a voice at the table to make those decisions. So I ran as an act of obedience to God, and not knowing what I was doing, right? But I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed networking with people. I enjoy learning. So, I mean, I'm just honored to be on this platform this morning with you all to gain the experience, as well as to network among such amazing people that are doing amazing things and that have that historical background to give me more to, again, revive and continue to evolve in Wow Inspired and all that I'm doing. So I think, for a lack of, to summarize it all, it was I wanted to be the person that I did not have to somebody else. So.
Absolutely. Shay, I want to again thank you so much for your inspiration, your empowerment, your leadership. You really are like a triple, quadruple threat when it comes down to entrepreneurship, and also on the for-profit and nonprofit side. And you, the fact that you love the Lord and put God first in everything you do, it does show. And so I just want to thank you. And I use a term here, blessed to be flanked with you, blessed to be flanked. We got
Yeah.
one rule we do on the show, everybody. I want all of y'all, if you haven't done this already, to be friends with each other on Facebook. I do this show for you all. It says Dr. Larry White Senior Show, but it's for you all to give you a platform to talk about yourselves, promote your events in your company. So please send a Facebook request to each other, because there's some reason in this power that we're having. Let's go over to the Shana Jones here. I'm very impressed by you. I went in your inbox like I did Shay and Dion. I kindly met Dion through a mutual friend. Shout out to Nicole Nixon. But Shana Jones, without further ado, tell us what made you get into real estate. And I'm so intrigued at how you, blend in the art. I'm just excited. So you're gonna see your sister Mary Mitchell in Atlanta. Shana Jones will be in Atlanta, and perfectly she'll be on the Deposit Your Dreams into Success tour when she's available. Take it away, Shana. What got you started into real estate and all that good stuff? Because it seems to be dominated by maybe the males, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but to see a female that looks like me into real estate brokerage and also with art, I'm just so intrigued about that. Tell us about how you got started, Shana.
So I got started in real estate when I first graduated from college a few years back. I started working in household finance on a corporate spectrum for about 5 years, moved up the corporate ladder. But with real estate, I found that we were underserved, meaning that a lot of people, a lot of African Americans in particular, were into high interest rate loans that they had no idea that they could refinance and come out of. They didn't know that they could buy multiple properties. So I opened up a mortgage company on the west side of Chicago, Madison and Cicero. I purchased the building, rehabbed it, and then opened up a FHA approved high-fledged mortgage company on the west side that I had from 97 until, like I said, when the market dropped in 2009. So I went into the community to help the community, to inspire the people in the community, to knowledge them and teach them and educate them that this thing called real estate is, your key to your future. It's your key to retirement. It's your opportunity to build wealth. And it was also a way to help, rebuild the community. So I bought, all the dilapidated buildings I could get my hands on at the time and rehabbed them and housed, a lot of folks in the neighborhood, in the community. But I was also teaching people that, it's real. The opportunity is real, and real estate is a commodity that we need to take advantage of. And so oftentimes we don't, because we just don't know. We don't have the knowledge. So now people are buying and selling a lot more property. They're getting into it, and it's opening up a lot of doors for wealth within our community. And people are, more intrigued to taking care of their credit and, taking advantage of opportunities within the real estate market. So I just love real estate. I love not only buying and selling it, but I love helping people get into it and acquiring it. And I love putting the process together and making it as seamless as possible for them, because it can be invasive. So people kind of back away from it and shy away from it. It is a lot of information required, but at the end of the day, home ownership is what we all want to have as part of our wealth package.
Shana, I really appreciate that. We're going to stick with you just for a little bit and go back over to Dion. What would be if someone that's out there just trying to own property, Shana, what would be the one piece of advice? I mean, I still see a lot of people that are renting. There's no value, or what do you call it, reciprocation in renting, where you can get, just talk to people. If there was one thing you could tell people that's struggling maybe with their credit, but they really are trying to buy a home, what would be the one piece of advice that you could tell them so they can own a piece of America?
So I would just say, start with where you are today. We've got some people on our call right now that do credit repair, and, don't be embarrassed of the process. So get started, take a look at your credit. You should know what your credit score is, get your credit from all 3 bureaus. And if you had some dings in the past, reach out to the professionals out there that can do the credit repair. That's number one. And then, number two is just tightening up. You need a couple other things along with credit. You have to have 2 years of employment. That's important. Your debt structure has to be in line as well. So a lot of people can buy, but they're overextended. So you just got to kind of take an internal look at where you are, and everyone might not be able to buy today, but you just have to plan that out. So you're on the 6-month or a year plan out, and then, that's optimally the goal. So what I'd say first is just get started. Number one is just get started. Pull your credit reports, take a look at where you are, take a look at your spending, and try to save a little bit every paycheck. Pay yourself first, as they say, and then you'll have some money to work with, because you do need money when it comes time to buying a house. Down payment assistance or not, there's costs and fees involved in buying a house, just like when you buy a car or buy shoes or buy your Gucci bags. You got to have some money to kind of get everything started. So first and foremost, I would say just get started. Take the plunge and go for it. And then ultimately, if you can't do it today, which a lot of people can do it and they're not even aware, put it down the line for your plan for future.
Shana, thank you so much. We'll be back with you to close out the show. We have one question for everybody, really two, and then we're going to get your contact information and round out the show. The common denominator here with all of you all love helping people, and everybody that's come on this show, this platform, you all are doing different things, some similar, but you all help people, and I can appreciate that. I look up to all of you all. In the morning when I see you doing some great things on your Facebook pages, Twitter, and things of that nature, I'm just amazed at the great things. So I saw this in Chicago. We talked about Chicago, everybody throwing up. I saw this question on TV yesterday, and I think it's perfect for you, Dion. This is the first show I've had in 2 months where I didn't send y'all the questions in advance. So this is organic, and I appreciate y'all rolling with me. Dion, who are you on social media? Social media is like amazing today. It can make or break you. So like if somebody's Googling you, and we're working with Shana to get her social media kit going. You have a great one, Shay, what we call a one sheet, a deck. Shay, you got some great stuff going on. But Dion, for those like you, so I'm following you with Eastern Shore for Change. I see all these things. So who are you on social media? And why is that important to you?
Great question, especially for this younger generation who doesn't understand how social media can impact them yet today and tomorrow. Great for us because it wasn't there when we were acting out, right? Right. When you are trying to enter into business and build the trust of potential clients, the respect of the community and the world around you, you have to become your brand. Your brand name, your tagline, your mantra is just as important as your face. So when people see you anywhere, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, at an event or out and about, you have to be continuously building credibility for your brand with anything that you do. And also too, being a Black man in America, that's even more reason why you have to continue to build that credibility. I always tell people before I talk about something, I want to make sure that I am an expert, because when I want to leave there, I want to leave with the trust of the people that I spoke with. So again, it's all about branding. Without people hearing the name of your company, when you walk into the room, you want to have a presence where people want to know who you are and what you do.
Well, you know what, Dion, it's funny. That's exactly what I say when I talk about marketing, branding, and advertising. What are they saying about you and your company when you're not in the room? It's like you were at that Microsoft. Remember, Mary, I touched on that at Lunch and Learn.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is why I love that brother, because he gets it. And I just can't say enough. Thank you for keeping it short. We're going to come right back to you, Dion, with one last, like what you got coming up and your contact information. Mary, talk to us about your upcoming events. I know you got some stuff coming up. Tell us some upcoming events and round it out with how folks can communicate with, contact you.
Okay. Well, thank you once again for this platform. And I promote platforms through Chrysalis Studios, which is my media company. And that's CHRYSALIST Studios. And it's an LLC, and I'm very happy with that. But Chrysalis Studios is going to be involved in another project that I'm working on, and that is a trip for those of us who want to continue our story with travel to Ghana. I have an upcoming trip in August where I'm trying to get like-minded individuals, and this is how the tie into the autism. My friend at the United Nations runs a program for kids with autism in Ghana. And so I'm trying to get people involved in that. My other friend runs a very profitable engineering business in there, and I'm trying to get people interested in doing business in Ghana. So, it is all full circle. I'm also known as Queen Mother Mary because I'm actually a Queen Mother of one of the villages in Ghana, and I hope to bring people there to continue their journey to learn about how the great kings and queens in a wonderful area that we rarely hear about rule that area. And now people are coming back and knowing what resources are available in Ghana and saying, wow, how did we miss this? It's a prime opportunity to do business on an international level. And so Queen Mother Mary will be there with like-minded individuals in August. We're going to continue to do the events around the country, just opening up the platform. There's so many people that can learn and to give us information on how to do successful businesses.
Right, and I was just typing to you. And how can folks get a hold of you? Website, email, phone number?
Okay, I do have chrysalisstudios.com. My email is admin@chrysalisstudios. I'm on Twitter and all those other things that,
Absolutely. Look, I want to tie something in that Dion said and something you said, a little different, and we're going to go over to Shay and have Shana shut us out and get us out of here, shut us down for the day. I thank you for bringing up the African heritage, because a lot of times, in the history books today, they just kind of remind our kids we started at slavery. Well, we go beyond slavery, where we were rich Black kings and queens prior to that. And I say that to say, when it comes down to branding, what Dion mentioned, when we're looking for you on social media, we need to look for one name. If you're Dion Banks on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You should be one name across the board. That's how I teach my marketing and branding and advertising class. It's very difficult when you are 3 or 4 names and people are looking for you and they can't find you. So the consistency is really key there. So thank you for the African heritage. I'm gonna try to make it to Ghana with you. I got to renew my passport, and so we'll be back shortly. All right, Shay, tell us what's coming up on the horizon for you, what upcoming events you have. Also, how can we get a hold to you for speaking engagements and your contact information?
Sure thing. So again, before I give that information, thanks again, Dr. Larry White, as well as to those others that are on here, Mary, Shana, and Dion. Of course, Dion for just connecting and introducing us. So I'm honored and I'm privileged to be connected to Dion, such prestige gentleman. I love me some Dion Banks. So I just wanted to add on to what Dion said. And I'll be honest, like when we talk about brand, one of the things that I had, it was a hiccup for me getting started, was this whole brand idea. And one day God spoke to me, he said, Shay, don't get busy building the brand, you be the brand. Don't be so consumed with building the brand, you be the brand. So wherever I show up, it's just, I'm Shay Speaks. I am Wow Inspired. This is how I live. So just some upcoming events. Monday, I was actually afforded the opportunity to be the keynote speaker at Cambridge South Dorchester High School, their Black History Month program on Monday. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I am so excited about that. Just to share with those young people and the community some of my story, and just inspire and encourage them just how they are free to be who they are. On March the 28th, we will have our official 1-year celebratory as well as anniversary for the Wow Inspired movement. And that's on March the 28th. That will be here in Dorchester County as well. We are live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And we have Wow Inspired Kids that are live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Just that's all Eastern Standard Time. And in order to contact me, I can be reached at any social media at I am Shay Speaks. That's at IAMSHAY SPEAKS, and that's all together. That's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all of them. And the website is also www.iamshayspeaks.com. So again, thank you, Dr. Larry White, for having me on as well.
Well, you know what, Shay, thank you so much. I had an event last year, a Congressional Black Caucus VIP mixer, and 90% of the attendees were millennials, and that really warmed my heart. You all are the future. Dion said it so nicely. I didn't know what a computer was, let alone social media. It wasn't available when I came in, and to be able to pick up some of the things, I'm doing pretty good. And I got children that are sharper than me in this stuff, so you know how that goes. Well, and by the way, shout out to Sharon Oliver, who just joined out of Richmond. Richmond, by way of Mary, Queen Mother Mary, Kizzy, Richmond, y'all showing up. I'm spending a lot of time in Richmond, as y'all know. I know you saw the post last night. I'm getting ready to surprise you all. I'm getting ready to pop up in Richmond, Virginia. I got this great space on the water. I'm gonna tell you where it is today, Mary. Get ready, Richmond. I'm coming. Deposit your dreams into success with the second book. So here we come. Shana Jones. Oh, did we just lose Shana? Oh, wow. Okay.
No, that's because that phone call is coming in.
Oh, okay. Well, I am so glad you're back here. Shana, tell us any upcoming events that you may have, what's coming up with you, and how can people contact you for more information on buying a home, art, and all that great stuff?
So I guess I got an event coming up in Atlanta with you, Dr. Larry White. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to do that. And then we got something going on in March. So that in Tampa, you're going to come down for that event. So actually that was the person on the other calling me to probably confirm that. I'll talk to you about that off the air. But I just want to say thanks for letting me be on the show. I guess it's so interesting because I've always kind of been able to market myself by word of mouth. That's how the majority of my business has always come to me. It's been word of mouth. You do good by one person, then they tell somebody else, then they tell somebody else. I think social media has completely taken over that platform. And word of mouth is not like it used to be. We don't pick up the phone and call like we used to. We don't have the conversations like we used to. So social media has definitely taken a platform on our communication these days. But I'm at Shana Jones. Lending is an art is my tagline, because I believe the process of putting a loan together is a masterpiece. And when you come out and you have a Picasso, which is your beautiful home at the end, you go through the process and put it all together. And when you purchase homes, typically you want to put some great art in there. So my whole concept is tying the art galleries together to help increase their sales and help people beautify their homes with art, because I love art. That's just kind of like my side thing. But anyway, I can be reached at Shana Jones. My number, that's probably where I'm able to be reached. I gotta tighten it up. I got to put my lending is an art tagline in there and do some more, upgrade my social media so I'm easier to be reached, or I have some more taglines. But Shana Jones, and then it's 312-907-7171 is the number that I can be reached at for any information. And again, I have a mobile card. The application process is easy, so I can get that out to the crew for future use.
Absolutely. Shana, hold on real quick. We're going to say goodbye to Shay Lewis Sisco. She has another appointment to go to. Shay, thank you so much for blessing us on the show today, and we'll be in touch with you soon. You continue to operate in excellence. Have an amazing day on purpose, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. You guys as well.
Hi, Shay. We love you.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you, dear, my dear. Okay, Dion, the brother left for last. Leave us with some encouraging words for those people that are in a cubicle. They may be homeless. They may be in a marriage that they don't want to be in. They may be successful, but they're still not getting out of their own way. Leave us with some encouraging words that you are somebody. You can lead by example. You may not be rich monetarily, but you're rich in spirit because you know a man named Jesus. Amen. But
Amen.
just leave us with some encouraging words for those people that are trying to write a book. They're trying to buy a home. They're trying to buy a car, get a business started, but they seem to be stuck. How can you give them some encouragement words, Dion, before we close, to get them through? As Tyler Perry said at his BET speech, help somebody cross.
So like Sister Shana said, I mean, I think you have a hot tagline, like tighten it up, like I'll tighten up. I love that. I wrote it down, like that. It just speaks power to me. I think for people who may be stuck in life, a lot of times it's because they don't have examples of people doing the things that they want to do. Like Shana said about buying a home, if you don't have family members who actually went through the process who can share the experience, and you just see people struggling to pay rent, you see people struggling to pay bills, home ownership and equity aren't the type of conversations that you have in the household. So what I say to that is, when we identify the people like that, us being leaders and us having the power to make things happen for them, unbeknownst to them, we need to be the bridge for them, like Sylvia said at the Black History Program. Be the bridge. That's the new hashtag for me, by the way. Be the bridge for others, because so many people have been the bridge for us. So again, it's about being available and accessible. Now, on the flip side of that, you can bring the horse to the pail of water all day long. If the horse is not willing to drink, there's only so much you can do. So if you are serious about making these changes in your life, starting a business, buying a house, and if you are in the local area, I am always available, because it's about community empowerment. So really quick, two things that we're focusing on this year is Census 2020, and also making sure that you vote. So with the Eastern Shore Network for Change, we make sure we have a seat at every single table. Like Shirley Chisholm said, if they don't offer you a seat, bring your folding chair. So with that, for the Census 2020, not only am I going to make sure that our community is accounted for, I actually went through the hiring process, and now I'm a field service supervisor, because I want to make sure it's done correctly. And I want to make sure that everyone in our community is accounted for. Also with voting, we are actually doing a lot of different activities coming up this year to make sure that people are voting, getting to the polls, and making sure that your voices are heard. If you don't want to be a part in making the change, don't complain about what's happening today. Also, you guys, Dr. Larry, you probably saw where we had our unveiling of the Gloria Richardson poster at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum on February the 11th, which is Gloria Richardson Day, declared by the governor here for one of our programs in 2017. The Baltimore Sun just picked up that article this morning. So that poster is actually on display right now. What we're going to be doing is we're working with a company out of Texas called History Art, and they're partnering us with artists all over the country to actually retell the story of the civil rights movement. And it's called How We Got Over, a struggle for civil rights in Cambridge, Maryland. So what we're going to be doing is partnering with all these amazing artists. The first one that we partnered with who did the Glory poster, her name is Afua Richardson, and she's actually responsible for doing the World of Wakanda for the Black Panther series.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're pretty powerful. So what we're going to be doing is once we get all these posters, the completion date looks like it's going to be June. That will tour the country. And then what we're going to do is start working on a comic book series to actually get into the schools for student learning.
Oh, Mr. Dion Banks, thank you so much for always empowering us. You know, you talk about the census for 2020, voting. You're a serious brother. I'm happy that you and I can every now and again have a cocktail together and laugh, because I see you always boots on the ground. I want to take this moment to thank you so much. I know I thanked you on the Eastern Shore, but I want to thank you so much for partnering with the Mastermind Group, VIP Events Concierge. That was one heck of a Black History celebration.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I want to thank you, the Lodge 223, all of the brothers and sisters. It's the first time I cried in a public space with a lot of people like that. And those were not tears of pain. Those were tears of joy. So I thank you so much for always empowering. And as we get ready to wrap up the show, I want to thank Shana Jones out of Chicago by way of Tampa right now for being on the show. We have to talk later today. You were absolutely amazing. I will have all of you back on the show because it's just not enough time to get it all in. So we'll do a show individually with all of you. Mary, she can't come back on the show because she's been on the show too many times. I'm just kidding. She's had her own show and she's had me. And Mary, I want to thank you. I adopted her as my mother the other day. Some of you all know that I lost my mom 2 years ago, tragically. She had a heart attack while driving. And so Queen Mary told me I could call her mom. And so the other night she said, "Good night, son." I said, "Good night, mom." So thank you so much for trying to feel that.
Thank you.
So Mary, we will see you shortly. I'll talk to you a little bit offline. But before you all go, just a couple more announcements. February 28th, Cocktails and Conversations. Dion, come on out to that. February 28th, it's right outside of Annapolis in Severna Park. We're going to be at Cafe Mezzanotte. I would love for everybody to bring their business cards. We'll have a mixer. There will be some complimentary hors d'oeuvres, free parking. That's Cafe Mezzanotte, February 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. Cocktails and Conversations with Concierge. We look forward to seeing you all there. Also, April 3rd and 4th, we will be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Cumberland Mall, Maggiano's. Shana Jones will be there in the building talking about how you can buy real estate, buy homes, and also lending as an art. I may have messed up that hashtag, but she'll clean me up on that. But she'll be in the building April 3rd and 4th in Atlanta, along with Mary Mitchell. So everybody, thank you so much for joining the show today. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Oh, by the way, shout out to Sharon in Richmond. We do have a special broadcast of the Dr. Larry White Show this Saturday with Rashawn Ellis out of Atlanta, and also Read, Watch, and Wine, an amazing group that has the #1 podcast in the country called Read, Watch, and Wine. So tune in this Saturday for a special edition of the Dr. Larry White Show at 10 a.m. I love you all. Anybody want to say anything last before we close? Anybody?
I need these ladies in Cambridge, man.
Listen, now listen. I'm gonna say this.
Mary, you've already been, but I want all you guys.
Listen, look, I'm getting ready to empower Shana to sell some real estate to move her up here to Maryland because she's absolutely amazing. We're gonna get on. Hey, Dion, I got a great idea. I can get Shana Jones up here. You and I just split the plane ticket. How's that sound? I put her in hotel for this. Yeah. You see her smile and she liked that one. Before we listen, I know Mary wants to say one more thing. Shana, give us a great golden nugget of inspiration, empowerment, leadership. Give us one or two golden nuggets before we close.
I just want to say that we all should take advantage of home ownership, and we all can do it. And I think rental income and residual income from real estate is just a powerful thing. I think our retirements are not guaranteed. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know we can house some folks and put some roofs over some people's head, and everybody's going to need a place to live. And everybody can't own, and sometimes we have to take the leadership role in that. But I just want to, great meeting everybody. Nice to just be around some solid, powerful entrepreneurs and some folks with some good spirits. I appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to meeting everybody in person, and just have a great, powerful week. And just let's all reach out to somebody and make them feel good today.
Yes.
Absolutely. Sean, I couldn't have said that more. Queen Mother Mary, my mom, go ahead and have the last word as we talk about hashtags. I always like to say, be inspired, be empowered, and get connected. Take it away, Mary.
Well, just blessings to you all. I think this is just when I talk about platforms, this is just a wonderful opportunity for people to meet each other and to have their stories told. Each one of us has a unique story that make us who we are, and we can take that and share it with the world through this program. Thank you very much, Dr. White, for allowing us to be a part of this. I look forward for all the ventures that we have. And if there's anything that I can do personally to support any of you, you have my blessings. Thank you, son.
Oh, yeah. From the bottom of my heart, Mr. Dion Banks, thank you so much for being absolutely brilliant. Sylvia Kuntz is a big fan of yours. She used to be a big fan of mine, so she fired me last week. Now she's a big fan of yours. But thank you so much. Listen, I have to also thank you for the ABC 47 TV interview, Dion. That was great. The partnership with the radio station with Mike, that was great. I'm gonna tell y'all this: if you're not living your best life, not you all this on the show, the people that are listening, go out and do something great. Do what you want to do. I wanted to start a radio TV show online, and I got these great people. Y'all inspired me. I wanted to partner with Dion with the Black History Program. We did that. I just do what I really want to do, but it is in alignment with God. So I pray, and He said that's what I want you to do. So I make sure I do that. So thank you all for chiming in. We did get a little long-winded today myself, but sometimes when the show is going, you just let it go. You just let the Holy Spirit deal with everything. So that concludes the Dr. Larry White Senior Show today for February 20th, 2020. Thank y'all for joining, and continue to operate in excellence, and have a blessed week. Thank you now.
Thank you.
You.
Thanks.